Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Top of the day. Happy Tuesday. I like something that just shot out at me. We read it already, but I'm going to go back. All right, beautiful people. Happy Tuesday. It is November the 26th, 2019. Hey, girl. Hey, TT. Hey, girl. Hey. All right. It is year 2, day 3 of reading the Old Testament through. Reading through the Bible, y'all. Reading through the Bible. Like I said before, if you haven't caught it, we read the New. We pretty much spent our entire lives in the New Testament. We completely know it's there, like everything. At least I know I have. At least the last almost 20 years of my life. When I started going back to church and got born again, I literally spent all my time in the New Testament. So we know it's there. Like we clearly know it's there. And most Christians do who actually read it. They will actually read their Bibles. It's a real small handful that reads it on a daily basis, like with consistency. And they'll tell you that a couple times a week when they go to Bible study or church or whatever. But the whole point is because coming out of the church world, I realized there was so much that I didn't know that I carried around with me all the time. I realized that I was completely ignorant of the words of Yahuwah. So that's why we're going through it. Most Christians are. They'll give you some quick references to the Old Testament, the ones they get in church, or technically the ones, the Old Testament references that they're connecting, they call them fulfillment scriptures. I said, and this was fulfilled in Isaiah, and this, and you got to go back and double check that because they don't give the whole verse, whatever it is that they're saying. It has been fulfilled in context, and what you will find out, some of it is misquoted. They've changed the words of some of it, and it started me to thinking, I'm like, well, why would that change? Why would they change that? So that's why you got to go back and verify everything, because we know this has been written over and over by different people, and they change stuff. You just kind of got to verify some stuff just to make sure you're not believing something different that was the original intent. So, Auntie, hey, love you too. All right, y'all. So we are reading Genesis 7, 8, and 9 today. The flood comes. All right, so here we go. Let's find my page. All right, Genesis chapter 7. And Yahuwah said unto Noah, come through all thy house into the ark. Did I say that right? I did not say that right. Okay, let me start over. And Yahuwah said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee I have seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7, the male and his female, and of the beasts that are not clean by 2, and the male and his female. Of the fowls also of the air by 7s, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. See, in a couple other versions, I realized it yesterday. It adds something here. I'm like, why would they do that? See, why would they do that? And I had never caught it until yesterday. I never caught it. Okay, so I'll share that at another time. Okay, because I'm still doing some stuff with it, looking at it. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that Yahuwah had commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood. Of clean beasts, and of every beast that are not clean, and of the fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth, there went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as Yahuwah had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. And the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, and the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And the selfsame day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, and two and two of all flesh, wherein there is the breath of life. And they that went in, male and female of flesh, as Yahuwah had commanded him, and Yahuwah shut him in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lifted above the earth. And the waters prevailed, and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went upon the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole earth were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl, and of cattle, and of beasts, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land, died. And every living substance that was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and all the fowl of heaven, they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, that they were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. I mean, this probably goes without saying, but the sea life remained intact during the flood. I mean, because that was the world that they lived in, you know. So it was just a normal day for for sea life all over. It said everything that was at the breath of life, every human and everything that creeped upon the earth. Everything that I bet everybody wanted to be sea life that day. All right. Chapter 8. And Yahuwah remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And Yahuwah made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. The ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains of Ararat, which we hear that is in Turkey. But upon a little more study, it seems that it ended there because of the ocean currents and lanes and stuff. It would have started at a different place because the ocean currents would have carried it different ways. But, you know, that's a whole other conversation. But it didn't start there. It actually started in another place. And by the time the day came where it receded enough, it landed upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark that he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth and to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark. For the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand, and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came in unto him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the 1st month, on the 1st day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. Starting over, 600 year in the 1st month, on the 1st day of the month. Yeah. Okay, and Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. And Yahuwah spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou, thy wife, thy sons, and thy sons' wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with them, every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto Yahuwah, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And Yahuwah smelled a sweet savor, and Yahuwah said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall... Let me read that again. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Last chapter for today, Genesis chapter 9. And Yahuwah blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl in the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fish of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. Not that it makes much difference, but if you hadn't caught it, it wasn't until after the flood that he gave the animals as food too, because he brought it out. I read it again. Verse 3. If you go back to Genesis, he said all the green things and leaves and plants and stuff, he's giving it for meat unto the humans. But right here, he specifically says in verse 3 of chapter 9, every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb I have given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, ye shall not eat. That was a command from the very beginning, y'all. Do not drink blood. Don't eat meat raw with the blood in it. He trying to keep them alive. He's trying to keep them alive. He's trying to show them proper sanitation processes to live by. And surely your blood of your lives will I require at the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, and at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahuwah made he man. And you, be fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein. And Yahuwah spake unto Noah and his sons with him, saying, And behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there be any more a flood to destroy the earth. And Yahuwah said, This is a token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations, meaning forever. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of the covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the water shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between Yahuwah and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And Yahuwah said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth, and Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. A husbandman is a farmer, simply. And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be to his brethren. So he cursed Ham's son, Canaan. And he said, Blessed be the God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Yahuwah shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem. And Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. That was Genesis 7, 8, and 9. Hold on, babe. Y'all, we're going to go ahead and make this quick. It is Tuesday, November the 26th, 2019, day 3 of year 2. And I just told you what we read. So, if you missed it, just go back and reread it, or read it from the beginning, or you can rewind the video once it's posted, or just let it play and you can hear me read it. All right. So with that being said, y'all, have a wonderful day. Be safe out there. I know this is a short week for those that are celebrating the holidays. Be careful. Be vigilant. Keep your head on the swivel. If you're out there shopping for food for your family and stuff, just be mindful of your surroundings. Don't be distracted, y'all. So with that being said, I love you all, and I'm going to go ahead and bless you. May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and lift his countenance upon us and be gracious unto us and our households. And may he give us his peace, his shalom in all that concerns us and our families. So, all right, y'all. With that being said, I got to go ahead and get out of here this morning. So I love y'all, and I'll see you in the morning. Peace.